Hey guys, it's Aura, and I am back with a brand new Create Sim and speed build for you today. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. Make sure the notification bell is selected so you can be notified every single time I post a video. I have new videos out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The married couple that I made for this house are Adam and Michael Love. They have been married for a little over 5 years now, and they met in college when they both had a class together at Foxbury Institute. Who I am making now is Adam. He is a trans guy, and he is also a celebrated doctor. So he is one of the better doctors in town and has done really well in his medical career. And in his spare time, he really enjoys painting and being creative and having that as a creative outlet for him. And he also really likes to bake. And his most favorite thing that he likes to bake are chocolate cookies that Michael absolutely loves. And for him, I wanted him to have a very comfortable attire because when someone is in scrubs all day, it's just nice to be able to come home and be comfy. But he does have some very put together looks, which I think are representative of his professionalism in the medical career. So I really like the way that he turned out with a mix of comfy and formal. And then coming up soon will be Michael. And for him, I had plans for him to be a business professional who has recently received a promotion. And because of his high stress business environment at work, I wanted him to be very into video games because it helps him unwind when he gets home. And not a lot of people know this about him, but he is also a very avid fisher. And that is a really cool hobby to have, especially when there is a fishing spot near their house. And his look, I wanted him to be a little more put together all the time, but with kind of a fierce twist to it. So a lot of his outfits will be fairly tailored, but there's always some type of button down, sleeve rolled up type of look to him. And I think that that is a pretty cool look for him to have, especially when he is a business professional. And for his swimwear look, I wanted it to look like he does like to be out and in the water, but not necessarily in the heat. So you'll see I put some sunscreen on his nose and across his cheeks and give him a hat. And he really likes to travel with Adam. They've been jet setting since they got married, and they particularly like to go to Granite Falls because it's a bit cooler, because he seems to feel like he will melt in anything over 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So I wanted that to be kind of portrayed in his swimwear outfit. So the house that they live in is a 2 bedroom and a 1 bath bigger starter home that looks like it is in the suburbs. And I had the idea that they had bought this house when they got engaged. They had moved in and had slowly renovated it, but there are still some pretty cozy elements to it in their furnishings. And as you can see there, I put a back door in, and I wanted it to almost seem like they had put that back door in and they had put the patio in that will come later, and that they've just done some upgrades, that they've upgraded the bathroom and the kitchen, and they've just got some really rich woods in there, and they just have some fairly comfy and just luxe furniture, especially since they both work in high fast-paced and high-stress environments. I thought it would be good for them to have a home to come home to that isn't so sterile, because both hospitals and big businesses can be pretty sterile. And I wanted this to look like it was in the suburbs, but close enough to the city where they could have a pretty easy commute. So this looks like it would be, you know, just slightly outside of the city, but close enough where if you are a young professional, you can get to work fairly easily. Here you will see I put upper cabinets in to look kind of like a headboard or sideboards. And I put in his closets here so that they could have some big, nice closets. And I'm not super familiar with building bedrooms that look like that, so it really pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Here I am putting furniture and plumbing into the bathroom, and then I move on to the living room. And I really wanted a fireplace because this type of house just looks like it would have a fireplace, and to put the TV above it so that Michael can play his video games. And as you can see, I'm putting in, they're not modern. It doesn't look like it's a modern furniture, but it looks like it would be super comfy to sit on. And like I said before, I really wanted the rich woods and just to make it look very loved and lived in. So this second bedroom, what I did with it is I made it into their office. So one side of it, you'll see there's lots of office furniture. There's a computer with a big desk. There's going to be a bookshelf and lots of office and professional clutter there. And then kind of in the corner on the other side, I will be putting all of the baby stuff. So like I said in the beginning of this video, they've slowly been collecting stuff that would be necessary for a nursery. But because they don't have a third bedroom, they've just been kind of shoving it in their office until they get super prepared to actually start trying for a baby or adopting a baby. So that was kind of what I wanted it to look like. Like they didn't have a bona fide nursery set up, but they have a lot of stuff and they've just kind of been piling it up over the past couple of years while they got ready to expand their family. So here I am cluttering up the office space. I just wanted to look like it had lots of stuff there. And I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between cluttering up the office and cluttering up where the nursery items are. And you'll see that I just kind of put everything a little off center, almost like it was just placed down haphazardly because they're just not ready to put it up yet, but they are getting very close to starting that family that they have wanted for a while, but they just wanted to get more comfortable and secure in their careers before they brought a child into their family. So there'll be lots of toys and the furniture that you need for a nursery and an armchair where they can hold baby and read to baby. And then I go back over to the office side and put some more stuff there. And then I start working on the outside. And my building style is kind of all over the place because if I get kind of stuck creatively and I'm not sure what I want to do, I'll just move on and go to something else instead of trying and trying and trying and getting frustrated with it. So I knew I wanted to finish the outside fairly quickly so that I could make sure that everything looked okay, because that's the worst thing you can do in a build is continue and then have to change something, and it just changes the whole entire layout. So the back, like I said, is going to have a patio. It's going to have a grill. It's going to have some outdoor entertaining space because I feel like these two guys are going to have friends and family over to entertain, grill out, just kind of chill and enjoy Adam's baking and Michael's grilling with his fish that he just caught. So I will soon start putting down some flowers and just some landscaping. And I wanted it to look fairly manicured, but not sterile outside. They probably don't want to spend too much time outside mowing the lawn, taking care of plants and stuff when both of them work probably 60 to 70-hour work weeks, if not more than that. So they just want to be able to come home, do the hobbies that they love, spend time together, and not have to take care of the lawn. So I hope that that was portrayed well here. Here I am putting the flooring down throughout the entire house. I wanted these floorboards to look like they had painted over them or whitewashed them, and that they used to be darker, and they've kind of revamped them and in their renovation process. And I wanted some exposed brick because it just kind of looks really warm and inviting. So I put that in the master bedroom behind the bed. And then you will see me cluttering up the master bedroom, putting uh, lamps on the wall so that they can have like separate reading lights almost. And I have to alt place all of these since they are upper cabinets down there instead of actual tables. So I wanted it to look like they didn't really have a lot of space in the bathroom, so they tend to get ready in their bedroom as well. And they have books and a hair dryer and toiletries and things like that in there. And I wanted there to be sheer curtains on that window since this room can get a little dark since there's only that window there. And I wanted there to be some plants on the wall and a wall sconce there in that almost hallway type of area in the bedroom. So it's not too dark, because with just those wall lamps over the bed, it could be really dark. So I wanted to brighten it up just a tiny bit. And I'll actually add a lamp over where that plant was in the corner, so that they would not trip over themselves even in the middle of the day. And here I am just putting more clutter all throughout the house. I usually clutter up as the last thing. I go through the clutter all at the end usually. I don't do it room by room, so it can look a little hectic and haphazard sometimes. So I'm just putting some rugs down so it's not just a wooden floorboard. I will put the little dog up here. I love trying to hide him in my builds and seeing how many people can find. My Vampire Catacombs build has a few in them, and I will just hide them everywhere. So if you ever see that little dog, I think it's called Little Lose or something like that, let me know how many you find, because I have started to hide them in my build so you guys can try and find them. And I wanted this kitchen hutch here so that they could collect some decorative things. They'll have like their plates that they got for when they were married, their china plates, and just some other places where they could keep some of their clutter. And here I am putting in all of the kitchen decorations and appliances. And I didn't want it to be super cluttered, but I also wanted it to look like they actually cook in it. So it's not super sterile. Like some kitchens, they can look super sterile without any clutter in them. But I didn't want it to look messy, because I don't think a medical professional or someone who had to pay close attention to business analytics would be super messy people. You never know, but that's the vibe that I was getting, was that they were actually semi-neat people. And here I am putting a rug underneath the dining room table just to kind of break up the white floors. And I will put a table underneath that picture that holds more stuff. And out here I am putting a grill and a table, and I'll actually switch where they are because the grill was blocking that window. And there is a birdhouse outside, which I move underneath the tree out here. And I also wanted a little sitting area so when they have friends and family over, they can just sit here and be able to talk and chat while they're grilling some of the fish that Michael caught. And here are some more flowers just to make it look a little more grown in the back, so it's not just a green lawn. And I wanted to put in the easel that Adam uses here, where if he's had a long day at work and he just needs to let out some steam, he can just sit there and zen out and paint until he is a little more mellow. And I put a toothbrush and some soap here by the sink. If I do not do that in any of my builds, it is because I have completely forgotten, because that is something that I'll put in almost all of them. And I do end up putting a little rubber duck near the tub, and also a little basket full of toiletries on the other side. And I just wanted it to look like they like to take baths as well, and they have some toiletries there that they can use. And here I put some napkins, some peppers, and I end up putting some cards there too in a little bit, so it looks like Michael got some congratulatory cards for his promotion. And I do end up putting the oranges on that hutch and candles and a vase just to make it look not so empty. And here I have gone into the debug menu to put a few more clutter items around so that it doesn't look too empty. It looks like people live there, but I didn't want it to be messy like I said before. We are almost at the end of this video, and there are some screenshots at the end of Adam and Michael and the rooms of this house. If you enjoyed this build and also the Sims I created, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This video should be out on Wednesday the 10th, and check back Friday for a new video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye!